You are not
I'll
Kasumi again. You are
one-shot the
still
wizard.
Yeah, we're
locale.
still.
Are we
As you
recording now?
are still in Kesh.
Yep.
Although, at this point, you're not really quite sure where the border exactly is between Oromai and Kesh. And from what Batbayar tells you, the actual border is fairly nebulous. You just know that eventually, as you walk into these golden grasslands, you are in the Horse Lord's realm. And
Horse
essentially,
Lords.
if any Keshite were to come upon you in this sea of grass, that you would know that Oromai's laws, such as they are not likely to apply. Luckily, that's not really a problem for you because the Keshite hordes in the entire eastern half of Kesh are currently infighting and are not going to be interested in a group of people who happen to be accompanied by the Khan of the horde that and clan that controls this area effectively. Or the only clan really that is still wholly intact. The lot of you, your group, are now traveling east towards Ogashi. I'm sorry, my nose is very congested all of a sudden, and I'm just going to go blow it. 1 second.
I really like the name Ogashi because it sounds like it has Ogash in it. Like somebody being really cute while saying "oh gosh." Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good shit.
Sorry about that. I'm just getting like a postnasal drip thing.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, it makes it a little tough to talk. But yes, as you have successfully defeated the Wizard Shu and his horde of miscreations, and freed the Beline merchant Pradesh, excuse me, who now rides with you and your band of merry people, sat in the seat of his wagon, which trundles jauntily along with his horses as he continues to strike up amiable conversation with you all. The Tiger Man is very a very easy speaker, um, very affable and outgoing, and he's constantly just like almost interrogating in a very very kind and nice way, very respectful and interested way on your adventures and your various successes. Um,
Who's
yeah,
asking this? My brain just fucking went blank for some reason.
Pradesh,
Pradesh? Okay.
yes. Asking you about specific magic items that you have, things that you can do. He saw you manifest the punching arm of Amuntha, Paulina, and uh, very interested in how that works. Um, and all manner of other things. So, on the bright side, he makes the journey at least a little bit more interesting as he cheerfully chats and relates stories of his own, almost in payment for yours. Uh, but yes, is there anything you would like to do as you continue your journey, which you expect at this point might take you a couple of days to complete as you make your way across the Golden Sea?
Can't really think of anything.
Oh, we learn a road song. We make one up.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Cool.
Mhm.
What
Forcing
is
that
this
on
road
everybody.
song?
I don't know.
Oh, you said it. I want to know it.
I mean, it's
1,000
one of the-
bottles of.
Ugh,
Oh.
man. I mean, I don't know. Pradesh seems like the sort that would start a road song. Am I right? He's a traveler.
Oh, absolutely.
Jovial.
He has major Friar Tuck vibes from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. And yeah, if you have a problem thinking of one, he can introduce you to any number from a wide variety of cultures. This guy, you learn, is very well traveled. He apparently has made his way to Kesh by means of the Twin Kingdoms and Viven, but Ardania before that, Senahan, the Dumadine Empire, the High Kingdom, various points in Averon. Apparently, he's also been to Khalees, Nahesh, all of the seven cities.
Nice.
He notes as having visited at one point or another.
We've been
And now
to
he's
Viven.
heading with you. Hmm?
I said we've been to Viven.
Ah, yes, the great arched city. Although I have to say I did most of my training in Lowtown. More interesting clientele. And also easier to get a cart around. At least off a ship. Have you ever been to any of the other of the seven cities? I forget exactly what my accent was, so I'm trying to reformulate it as I go.
I'm trying to remember
I
what
don't
were
think
the
I really
seven
had
cities.
one.
I don't think we've been to them. Does Twin Cities count as one? I don't think so.
No, the Twin Cities is its own
Yeah.
little island of civilization
Yeah.
on the
Yeah, it's not
coast.
7 cities, it's 2 cities. Duh.
Yes, but no, the seven cities refers to the seven cities on the Sea of Sails.
Yes.
The seven city-states of Viven, Jesolo, Prizreno, Rotholo, a lot of O's,
Yeah.
Khalees, Caballera, and Nahesh. Although interesting, there is no city of Nahesh. Nahesh is actually the name of the country.
Huh.
The city is named Al-Sabar. I don't know if it's eventually named Nahesh. I'd have to find that out. But anyway, yes. The cities that have gone on to create their own trading empires and their own literal spaces around themselves that are under their control, and the cities that control other cities. Really, they've become quite for city states. They are really quite large countries. But yes, they all have their own interesting character and qualities. Very, very interesting places to visit. Would you like to know anything about them? I've been to all of them. Well, don't everyone speak up at once.
I don't know.
I don't really know. I don't really know. Sorry, I thought it was Bet Player. And now Bet Player. I don't really know.
Crack you.
I know you don't really know. That's why I'm asking if you want to know. But if you don't want to know, that's also fine. We can just continue on our way along this great and inviting golden sea.
What's the deal with Rothala? I think I remember hearing some stuff about Rothala.
Rothalo is a majocracy. It's a city built around 5 great towers of diamond, sapphire, ruby, jade, and jet. These great edifices aligned to the elements, except for the central one, which I am told acts as a balancing agent for the other four, and that without it, they would clash until their towers actually collapsed. I'm not exactly sure what they were originally built for. I am told that the four elemental ones were originally built by elves for some unknown purpose, and that later the Rothalin humans that came to inhabit the place discovered the clashing nature of their assorted magics and built the fifth tower in order to balance them, preventing apparently global catastrophe. So, not everything the elves did was perfect, I guess. But today, Rotolo is it's got a couple of interesting things beyond the fact that it is ruled by the 5 orders of mages that inhabit those 5 towers, specifically the Order of the Mind that inhabits the central jet tower. It's a anti-theistic state.
Yeah.
Religion is banned there. The gods do not have worshippers, save for Crypta, who is,
Sort
she's
of hard to
difficult to
avoid.
challenge.
Yeah.
Exactly. But all of the new gods, the elder gods, the other gods who have hats,
Retro
gods who
god.
have no hats, none of them are allowed inside the city, or rather their worshippers aren't. I presume the gods wouldn't be as well if they were to come down and ask.
What about Urchelon? Isn't he pretty old school?
Urchulan is known less and by individuals. I imagine if a cult of Urchulan were to show up in Rothlo, they would ignore it because those typically don't expand outside, I think, just a few people, in my
Yeah.
experience.
We
They're
got
rare,
one
and
guy.
you have one worshipper of Urchulan, and how many
Yep.
people live on your island?
Yeah.
Exactly. So they're not exactly a tremendous force, and Urchulan is just that esoteric thing. I don't think it even concerns the Rothalans that much.
Okay.
What was your weirdest client?
My weirdest client. My weirdest client. Oh, that is a good question.
Excited for a good answer.
Well, there was a time in Ardania relatively recently, a couple of years ago, that I was approached by the scion of a noble for arcane reagents, and who bought out my entire stock, and I later learned that it was for some sort of nefarious ends. However, I had gotten just a bad vibe in general from that area. I had evacuated myself shortly thereafter. But he was so intense when speaking to me. It left a mark. Otherwise, there was the wizard who wanted to purchase several orbs for scrying purposes. However, he just gave me a strange vibe, and so when I pressed him what exactly he was intending to use these scrying orbs for, multiple orbs, I should mention, he was planning on creating a panoramic scrying room in which he could create and watch plays from all over Logos.
So you just
Every
wanted to watch out of character television.
yes,
No, he's scrying his orbs. Come on, man. Come on. He's not watching TV. Come on.
Magician
That's a
was trying.
crazy idea.
yes, he was trying to watch every play that he could, and again, strange vibes. I pressed him further, and he revealed that he was more focused on the exotic plays, if you get my hint. So,
Hell yeah.
in the end, I sold him the orbs. Not my place to ask him what he was going to be using them for. He wasn't
That's
going
a
to be using
wizard.
them. You don't know. If
a
you're
cool wizard.
going to spend years mastering the arcane arts, I suppose you can do what you want with those powers. Just
I mean, the only wizards we've run into are they've built towers and they've done experiments on people. So that's pretty.
Hey.
I like that wizard.
it's
That's
a little
you
bit more
count?
wholesome.
technically.
Oh, well, apologies.
I do magic. I just also read things about people.
Does your magic come out of books?
Uh,
Wizard
Ye-
magic is book magic.
I don't trust wizards.
Well, I mean, mine kind of come from the cards, but it's same premise.
But you
Wizard
did
magic is
learn
nerd magic.
from.
That was me. That was Sam.
Who's Sam?
I mean, it is true. But yes, I have to say that our most recent experience with a wizard was less than ideal. Well, especially for you because you actually had to fight him. I just got to sit on pillows and eat fruit for months on end. Speaking
Hey,
of,
seems
I am
like
going
how-
to need to get this
Batfire there
rather uncomfortable. But
is
Batfire
my.
is not there actually.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
okay,
none
I
of
wanted-
us.
You know what? Then Akia will say, "Yeah, hey, one time Batfire got turned into a. Well, whatever.
Oh, you mean the
He
scorpion?
got big.
Thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the volcano witch.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
She was like, gather 2 new ties and give me some powder of cocaine, and then she like mixed it in, and he drank it, and
Is that what
he turned
Batfire
it-
told you?
Yeah,
Akio?
because Akio would not have seen that.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what Batfire told me.
I don't think it was powder of cocaine.
I don't even know what that is. And I know most things.
What
That's
I
what
was
I've been
gonna
told.
mention is that Batfire. We have an amulet from that same witch that lets Batfire. Well, actually, I guess anyone with the amulet could use it. That lets you
Yeah, but
shapeshift randomly.
Oh,
I
that's
love that thing.
an extremely interesting item. How does it work?
It's random.
Random.
You
Magic.
literally polymorph into a random thing that exists on Logos, which is also concerning because we've seen things that we don't know are like a weird scorpion thing. You know
Interesting.
anything
Yeah, you
about
ever
weird
meet a scorpion
Yeah.
man?
A
Yeah.
scorpion
Yeah,
man,
like a
on
centaur,
two
like a
legs
centaur,
with
but instead of a horse at the bottom, it's a scorpion.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I
Yeah.
can't say I've ever met such a creature. Although, strange things have been spoken of coming out of the Kalthrok Desert.
Yeah, something about a blighted hellscape can breed strange.
Oh, yes, of course. But typically it just kills everything. From what I've been told, that not only is it killing anything now, but in some areas it seems becalmed, and that in those areas the dead walk again. But also, strange creatures, and I haven't heard of centauroid.
Wait, I'm sorry. Dead walk again?
Yes. I mean, these are rumors, and I haven't personally met any. But yes, apparently the deceased of old Kaltharok have come again to raise their old kingdoms from the grave or something. This is again from a half drunkard in a bar somewhere. So, but then again, sometimes rumors are based in truth. There might be some sort of necromancer running around animating things in the desert. There's certainly enough. There are certainly enough bones there to raise an army if one were to do so. You just have to do it while also not having the skin flayed from your own bones by the wind. But there was one person who insisted to me that he had met a person who was like a centaur with the upper body of an ebon-skinned elf
Oh,
with
that is.
jet black eyes
Huh.
and the lower body of a massive spider,
Yep.
and that this entity was actually friendly and sold him a vest made of his own silk.
Ooh.
He showed me the
Oh,
vest,
that's
Yeah.
well.
and
That
I have to say, I could not tell you what fabric it was truly made from. Clearly, it could not have been this because the story is ridiculous. But the vest was strange.
well. We've seen
Like
Batbear turn into that too.
That's right, haven't we?
Yeah.
Oh,
And the scorpion upper half also looks like that. So
how very curious.
yes.
Another data point.
Yeah.
Interesting. I might like to see your friend Batbire experiment with this device sometime. And see while we talk so. Look.
Ah, I
And
look.
Pradesh gestures forward, and as you're sort of coming over a hill, you see the great river of
Ah.
Ormai, and you can see dotted along it various little towns and villages, and at its mouth, a great, if a little crumbly, city of Ogashi. Ogashi. You would guess that you're only about a day away.
Yeah.
Camping for the night. You find yourselves wholly unmolested.
Thank
Yeah.
God.
And the next day you are able to travel the remaining few hours distance to the city gates, which you find to be barred.
Ah.
As you approach on horses, you see that that a number of Ogashi guards are standing in front of the gates themselves, in addition to being on top of the battlements, including a few of the better armored and more professional-looking royal guards who hold a hand up to you to stop as you approach.
Hey.
What is your business in Ogashi?
We don't know. I kid. I
I'm
kid.
thinking.
Uh,
How to put this?
Oh god damn it, I was muted.
We're here to talk to a local businessman.
Yes, on the completion of our business with one of the locals, they were expecting us. Did Blue Eyes have a moniker he went by in town, or was it just Blue Eyes?
It was just Blue Eyes.
Yeah,
Whom he was known.
we had done business for Blue Eyes. We have completed our end of the deal.
At Blue Eyes' name, the guard opens his eyes a little bit wider and then narrows them sort of angrily. You did business with Blue Eyes, the criminal mastermind.
Seemed more like just a enterprising businessman. I don't really know too much about him. We only got here for a short while, and then he hired us, and then we left.
Make a bluff check.
Okay.
Whatever.
Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo.
Not the end of the world.
I will
Skills.
attempt to assist.
Hey,
So now you don't
hey,
probably need my
whoa,
assistance.
whoa.
Hey, woo.
You
Forgot
also
I
didn't
had a
say
good
anything,
one.
so I wouldn't let you. But yeah, Locale, as you say this, as just sort of like blithely explaining, he like you underneath his helmet, you see his like brow furrowing as one eyebrow raises, as he realizes that I think these morons just literally took a job from our local underworld kingpin and didn't even realize it.
Wow.
Are you serious?
I mean, he seemed pretty intense, but like the money was good, and it was just kind of like to go somewhere and like.
What was the job?
Sorry, let me think about this. Out of character. I'm thinking for a moment. I don't know. He asked us to travel across Cash and then go like just go meet with a guy and give him a letter.
Specifically me, Pradesh offers from the back, waving from behind you. I was in a tight spot. I needed to be rescued. And,
Yeah.
well, I had things of which needed to be purchased, and I was told that the Blue Eyes here was a good purchaser. You are free to inspect my car to see if there's any sort of contraband. I think we shall. And he looks at all of you before going. All right. Open up your saddlebags and your cart. And after a good, thorough inspection of your various things, he doesn't find. Well, actually, that's a good question. You are carrying certain magical containers. Specifically, a portable hole filled with dragon bones.
Yes.
Doesn't need.
Is
I
there-
mean, what does the portable hole look like? I guess.
Is there
Would
any
you
way I
know
can-
it's a
is there-
container by looking at it?
Can I conceal that portable hole on me?
I mean, the guy is familiar with magic. He might not recognize a portable hole instantly, but if it just looks like a sort of hole in space folded up, so he might recognize it for what it is if he
Yeah.
looks at it or feels it, or like sticks his finger in it and notices that it just goes through and he feels dragon bone. Sada, yes. If you want to roll sleight of hand.
I will. Once I get to my skills tab. Nice.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, Sada, you basically, as he's going about, you take a moment when you notice that none of them are looking at you, and you just palm the portable hole into your hand. And as they start looking around it, you're basically able to just keep your hand in between him and the portable hole. So you keep flipping it between your fingers, or just basically doing sleight of hand tricks to just keep it away. He can't see it.
Nice.
At no point does it pass into his vision. And after an inspection of Pradesh, after which he goes, "These are very nice orbs."
Damn it. God damn it.
He finally goes, "All right. I recommend that you finish, all of you, your business with Blue Eyes as quickly as you can, and do not engage in any more. You take whatever payment he offers you and leave. He will
Okay.
indebt you into him in some way if he can, and he will make your lives a hell."
All right.
Thank you for the advice.
You're welcome. The other consideration is that once you enter the city, for the time being, you may not be able to leave. The city is on lockdown after the destruction of a public work that has
jeez.
as yet gone unsolved. We
Oh,
have locked down the
goodness.
city since then in order to prevent its perpetrators from escaping.
All right.
All right. If you're still, if it's still acceptable for you to be allowed to into the city, then we will open the gates for you.
All
Yeah,
right.
sure.
Thank you.
Very good. Open the gates. And after a time, you hear a clunk and like some dust shakes from the old wooden doors of the gates, and slowly the two doors begin to open inward, and you can see there a few Ogashi guards are pulling them in open for you, stopping just enough to fit the wagon through. And soon you are in the city of Ogashi.
Uh-huh.
The doors are shut behind you, barred and locked. And you are allowed to make your way through the sandstone city. There is a sense of frustration and a little bit of desperation in the streets of Ogashi currently. There are a lot more beggars than you recall.
Hmm.
And people just generally appear to be a little drawn looking. Like they've been severely stressed of late. Walking through or riding rather, through the city, it seems dustier than normal. And as you pass various carts and stalls, you note that many of the food and uh, food stalls and different wares appear to be rather denuded of products. Like you see very little in the way of fresh fruits and vegetables in the city as you make your way through, and people are having arguments about prices basically everywhere that you pass, anytime that you pass someone that does have things to sell.
How long has it been since we broke a building and locked everything down?
About a week and a half to 2 weeks.
Is that
Whose fucking idea was it to lock this place down and like have everybody going hungry and shit because a
Sada
building
looking
was busted? Like
Sada looking at all
who's in
this?
charge?
That would be the king of Ogashi, or the king of
Well, fuck
Oromai.
that guy. He's stupid.
Let's go overthrow him.
I mean, you guys broke the tallest tower in the city.
These people are going hungry. Fuck that guy. Let's go kick his ass.
Wait, how
We've
did
done
you
it
guys
enough
do
times.
this?
We flew our boat too low to a
Bat
building
Bear.
and
Bat
broke
Bear to
it.
give me good directions, and I hit a building.
Oh yeah, it's my fault
Yeah.
because I was the
Yes.
one driving.
Yeah, I mean, you're the one who knows this place.
It's a fucking building. It was right there. Maybe if you had frigging eyes.
Well, I don't.
What's that like the sassy?
Arcane eyes,
Well,
bro?
I
Like-
don't.
Or do they like? Is it like a magical sensing thing? Like, what's the
Sada-
deal? Because it looks like you
Sada
have
tries
eyes.
to lie that she doesn't have eyes.
Locale
No one believes
you.
except for Locale.
He's more so just like very interested. Like, huh? This is a really good like enchantment.
She has eyes.
Yeah, magical ones. Look at them.
No, they're
Who
normal
has
ass
gold
eyes.
like that? Come on.
She does.
That's no, that's weird.
That's apparently not super uncommon in, I don't know, like,
Can't say. Never been.
What's happening?
soon I will be back with the Oruite clan, and I'll never have to speak to these people again.
Oh, hang on. I can do this. I pull out my cards. Oh shit, where's the
When
thing?
he mutters that, Kanasai just mutter under her breath, but you will always be in their debt.
Absolutely. Are you trying to not be heard by him, or?
No, I want to be heard.
Okay.
I
Well-
assume that, or was. Wait, it's the deal was. Asai doesn't know what the deal was. She just thinks they went and helped him get his clan back or something, right?
Yes.
You were
Cool.
there.
Yeah,
Well,
but
no, she
I
doesn't
have-
know about the fact that he helped you guys get your island back.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
The deal was that he would assist with the retaking of Sarugu, and then Sato would assist him in taking back the clan.
Yeah.
So really, they're even.
Yeah.
But
I just-
despite that, aside, when you say that, also I just realized that the little stick figure on the back of the stick figure centaur has little uneven ears, and that is adorable.
Thank you.
Perfect. He actually stiffens slightly and gives you a sidelong glance before looking away from you, somewhat chastened.
Oh.
You don't say.
Trying to link the. Oh, hey, that does work. You copy paste that, you'll get the cards I drew.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh.
It's gonna be a calamity that is likely to be averted, though, not without consequence.
Uh-oh.
Also, somebody is going to have an unheralded ability coming to the fore or a concealed location revealed.
Oh. What? All right. Anyway. So, you make your way through the city. And yes, the city is not doing well, is the conclusion. You do pass a couple of temples that are trying to maintain a little bit of charitable donations. You travel past evidently what you guess is a temple of Korra and Brain and Arnulf, which is just swamped by people as they hand out what looks just to be like bowls of paste, which Asai would, as Asai and Locale would know. Asai unfortunately just walked away, but but she would know if she were here that this is basically what gets created with the create food and drink spell. It creates water and this tasteless gruel that is nutritious but gross.
Not delicious.
Yeah. It's basically just it's a porridge that tastes kind of like cardboard.
Oh, come on.
No, it's what it's described as.
Oh.
It's really not good. But it'll keep you alive, and you can cast it a bunch if you know the spells. So they're just handing out as much as they can, but they clearly don't have enough from what you can see.
Do we have the bowl of infinite ice cream still?
You do, but it's in Sarugu. I don't presume you don't carry it with
Oh
you.
man, we don't carry the bowl of infinite ice cream.
I mean,
Seems
it's a
like
big
waste.
glass bowl. It would break.
You just put it in the bag. Wrap it up in cloth. Anyway.
But yeah, soon enough, however, you are on the shoreline where you can see actually the harbor of Ogashi is absolutely packed full of ships at this point. As basically every ship that has sailed into Ogashi, not realizing that there was an interdict on anybody leaving, has been stuck here. And most of them at this point, the harbor is just filled with ships at anchor. There are simply not enough wharfs to have every ship docked right now. And it's almost comical just how many ships are sort of crammed in here. But at least now it appears that ships are like seeing this and leaving before entering the city. However, you do see that the Fatazo ship is still there, still at the same berth, and presumably still haunted. As you continue your way, you get into the palace district, where the palace of the King of Oromai has a cordon of guards around it. You note that there is this cordon of guards around the entrance of the palace, but there doesn't seem to be anyone like demanding to see the king or any crowds. And it's just sort of a dusty plaza leading up to it, and also the palace of your target, Blue Eyes' palace, the great dome arena-like structure with a single massive tower in the center looms in front of you. Anyone who wants to check out the place a little bit closer can roll perception.
Oh, you better believe. Also, we should start a petition against this king fella. That's what I think.
I have to say, this does not reek of good administration practices. Asai perception and Palina Khalil perception. Asai and Palina, you would both notice that among the dust on the sandstone paving stones of the palace plaza, as you walk past, you notice that there's some spots in front of the guard cordon where the stones appear to have been stained a bit, a rusty brown.
Now, what the shit happened here?
If I had to guess, food riots, based on everything we've seen so far. I was noticing some aggravated glances my way as we walked past. And yeah, I would guess that the people here are a little peckish.
All of this because of it's freaking stupid.
What?
What? Nothing. What?
No, you were saying pow, but you I misheard what you said before you said fucking stupid.
Oh, all of this just for the building or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just doesn't seem right. And
Kings commonly don't do what's right.
well, those kings should maybe get a little bit beheaded. I think I'm just riding high, having just beheaded an evil wizard. What do you guys think?
I think there are things that we need to prioritize a bit before we decide to do another coup.
Yeah, but this one's such a contained little coup. I feel like we could really get away with it.
Yeah, I think you're going mad with power. I think this falls under the jurisdiction of Pathfinder, and he should deal with it. We can't be our police.
I mean, I could just. What if I haunted his castle? What if I did that?
Let's just go see
Yeah.
Blue
It
Eyes.
worked so well on the boat. I could just haunt a castle.
You know what?
You can
Let's
haunt
think.
a castle?
I
You
also
haunted
thought-
a boat?
Oh yeah.
How did
Let's
you
go.
haunt a boat?
We pretended to be ghosts.
And it was incredibly successful, and I think I could probably haunt a king pretty well.
Well,
Anyway,
so long
let's
as
go
you'll be
talk to Blue
pretending.
Eyes, I guess. Oh yeah, no real ghosts were harmed
You know what?
or not harmed. They make
Maybe
people-
we can talk to Blue Eyes about it.
Yeah, he
Yes,
probably knows
he-
what's
he
up better
knew.
than
Yeah. Or yeah, you need to go talk to Blue Eyes. Find our Batfire.
By the way, I was just making stuff up earlier. Who is this Blue Eyes that we're going to see?
he's a criminal the criminal underlord of the.
Ooh,
city.
yeah, you might not want to come along for it. I think he likes a controlled environment and his secrecy and whatnot. And you're
Oh.
not invited, I guess?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. But this is the
I
sort of
know.
person I'd very like to meet.
I
Much like
know.
to meet.
Yeah, I know.
Hmm.
Well, if you want to risk getting zapped,
He's
you can come.
incredibly dangerous.
Yeah,
We'll
he's
put it at
he's
that.
very
Well,
powerful.
he's very powerful.
Getting
More-
zapped?
Yeah,
More so than the wizard we just dealt with.
he's
Oh my,
magical.
that is
Let's
powerful.
say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he's
has
got
he
some
could zap you
powers.
with a lightning bolt if you wanted to.
Probably could
Yeah.
do that.
Well, I think our previous host could zap me with the lightning bolt, but I get your point. I will wait here on my cart, and he reaches down and he grabs his plate of fruits, which immediately a bunch of fruits appear on it. I think I'll be okay.
All right.
Oh, plate of infinite fruits.
I've also got a bowl of
pomegranate.
grapes.
Was there a rendezvous point set up with Big Bayar and everyone else?
Guess we could swing by Bo's bar and see if they went there, maybe, before going to Blue Eyes.
Because I'm also an unknown quantity to this Blue Eyes, so you might want to switch me out
That's
for.
right. That's right.
Just putting it out there.
I don't actually recall if we established a meetup place.
Well, we've only really been two places here, so.
Yeah, I imagine they must have gone to Blue Eyes.
Well, we'll swing by Bo's bar first and then head to Blue Eyes.
Unless they
Uh-huh.
stopped at the inn outside the city.
Oh, shit.
Well, we'll never see them again.
Can anybody send messages?
I actually do have sending.
Oh. Very cool.
Okay. If you would like to cast sending, that would make things
Sure.
a lot easier. Sending has to be 25 words or less, so you tell me what you send and who you're sending it to.
Who's in the group that went? You know what?
Big Bayar, Marco, Pascal, Thurmond, and was that it? No,
Sonata,
there's someone else.
right?
Sonata. Yep. Thank you.
I'm
Pretty
gonna
good
roll
adventuring
1d3.
party by itself.
1 second. Let me list out.
Beef Squad plus Pascal plus Marco rather.
Yep. Okay. So that is Pascal. So Pascal just gets the question, where are you?
Okay, you get back. I'm guessing this is a sigh. It sounds like you. Oh, that means that this is sending, so I have a limit.
Well,
Classic.
Pascal, you idiot.
I'm in the. Okay, so actually, no, I miscounted. I'm guessing this is a sigh. At least it sounds like you. Oh, this means that this is sending. So that means there's a limited amount. Amount is word 25.
Okay.
God damn it.
I only had one sending prepared, so
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Pascal, you idiot.
Hooray! Hooray!
That fucking himbo.
Yeah.
Always identify who you are in a sending spell.
Yeah. Because, can be jarring.
Because otherwise, yeah, it's just a voice popping up in your head going, hello!
Context is good to give.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
Hello, I'm here now. Hello. I brought a JPEG with me. It's of a
He's
cat.
sending who dis. So yes, unfortunately, Pascal, speaking out loud or thinking out loud has thwarted your sending spell.
Okay. Well, maybe they have Sonata, who's also a cleric, and maybe Sonata has sending and can send back.
Actually, that's a good question. Sending is level 6, right?
4.
Sending is level 4. Ah, yes. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Oh, wait, we know who. But he's not with us. So yeah, Sonata can definitely cast 4th level spells. So yeah, eventually, Asai, after a little bit, about 10 minutes later, you get a message from Sonata going, hey, Asai, this is Sonata. I think you sent to Pascal and he flubbed it. So, where are you guys?
Okay.
You get a 25-word response.
Where are we? Should I just say heading to Beau's bar?
Sure.
Well, you're currently directly outside Blue Eyes' palace.
Okay.
Ah, okay. Tell them that then.
So, yeah.
All right.
So my
You-
reply is yes, thank you. Currently outside Blue Eyes' palace.
Okay. About 10 minutes later, you get another sending spell.
Oh, he has multiple.
Mhm. Oh, cool. Because we're in the palace.
Okay.
So, we told Blue Eyes that we picked you up. So, you're good to come in, too, if you're worried.
I'm going to reply with. Wait. I can talk out loud before I reply, right?
Yes. Well, kinda. Yeah.
Isn't it immediate?
It's immediate. Yeah, your next
Okay.
words are going into this reply.
Okay. We might be bringing. What is he called? You gave me the proper term for
Kardesh.
his
He is a Beline.
Beline. We might be bringing a Beline with us on our way.
Merchant!
A Beline merchant with us. Or maybe I'll just tack merchant onto the end. Okay.
Merchant! At the end.
Okay, you don't get another reply.
Okay.
However, as you're waiting there, you do note that a small door in the much larger main doors of the palace does open, and a guy in sort of a blue robe steps out. and looks around and sees all of you and starts making his way over to you. Every few steps, or every few feet, though, he stops and makes hand gestures and is prestidigitating the dust that is accumulating on the hem of his blue and white robes off, because it's just accruing every time he causes it to poof up by moving past it. Eventually, though, after about a minute or two of watching him do this, he does get up to you and he bows deeply. I believe you are the party of Sadaryuro and Batbayar of the Oroite clan?
Yes.
Wouldn't it be more efficient to prestidigitate once when you got here and once when you got back?
Yes. I apologize. I'm somewhat of an obsessive. Anyway, I am the Major Domo of the great entrepreneur known as Blue Eyes. And I have been told to invite you all, including your Billine merchant, inside the palace.
All right.
The city suffers from certain unrest, so it'd be best if we did not linger out here, although the square seems relatively empty today. Possibly as the result of yesterday. Anyway. And he turns around and begins leading you back towards the doors, which the main door is now open to let in the wagon. And you are soon standing not on the sandstone paving stones of the palace square, but on the beautiful marble floors of the Palace of Blue Eyes. The great blue tapestries and hangings, and the walls totally bedecked in gilt and various paintings and artworks and weaponry from all over the world as the doors shut behind you, leaving you in the darkened but still fairly brightly lit interior chambers. The entire wagon able to fit very comfortably into this main great hall, leading directly to the far doors that you know lead into the central open tower space. I apologize, but the your most august host is currently at business, and so is not available to meet you directly at this time, but will be this evening.
Okay.
Until such time, I have been told to direct you into one of our many living suites where your friends are already. If you would follow me, please. And at this point, he does prestidigitate all the dust off of him. And begins leading you down the hall. And Asai, as someone who has not been here before, these halls are cavernous. The entire construction is almost unreal. The ceilings tower in great arches above you, but at such width that you imagine that if this is all normal construction, this would have been very difficult to build without magic. This simple entry hallway is almost as grand as the greatest temples that you have seen. And the walls are just utterly festooned with all manner of artworks and pieces of various either paintings or upon various plinth sculptures. And you do note that these paintings and sculptures are not simply at your convenient viewing level. These are placed upon the walls, including on wall-mounted plinths and sconce-like, where you can see like halfway up a 40-foot wall, there is a great marble sconce with a statue on it. It's almost as if the viewing space is meant for giants or something that could fly. And you can note that this structure, this central hall base, goes back to a central circular interior space, and the hall splits out and forms a circle around that before branching off into different directions. And it is down one of those directions after reaching this central circular space and going off to the left that you walk and make your way, after a door is opened for you, into a quite large and sumptuously appointed chamber with a large fire roaring cheerily in the far wall. Again, more art pieces and works, various suits of armor. You note that this chamber is actually decorated in a Viennese style, in both the furniture that is on display and being used, and the various art pieces that are on the walls. These are, you see a bunch of partisans that are arrayed upon the wall. You would actually, any of you could roll just general intelligence to recognize these.
Okay.
Intelligence?
I am not smart.
No.
Yes, but you have seen these.
Yes.
Yeah, and the Asai and Locale, you both recognize these just because you're smart cookies. Sada, you also recognize this just because you're from Event and got a bonus. Pow, you don't recognize this because, well, you don't. But it'll come back to you immediately when Sada says something. But these are partisans that are, or rather, those types of partisans. These look like the sort of honor guard partisans that that are wielded by palace guards of the Grand Prince at like officious events. They're not really fit for purpose. They're like all gilded and like beautifully inlaid with gold and spectacularly beautiful weapons. And yeah, you can absolutely stab somebody for them, but they're not really for that. That they're for looking good, while also threatening someone to stab them. They're more honorary weapons. And in this room you do see your pals Pascal and Sonata and Thurmond and Marco, who is speaking to Bo, who is also in the room.
Nice.
Chilling out on a very on an expansive chaise lounge, and otherwise is sort of holding court, very apparently entertaining. Your friends as you enter, and as you do, they all turn towards you and go, "Ah, hey!" Pascal standing up and going over to you, Asai, and going, I'm sorry. In retrospect, I've not really been the subject or the recipient of sending spells before, and should not have self-narrated my thoughts regarding the reply when I was actually replying. Apologies.
And
Yeah,
then Rita.
he sort of shrinks away from his side.
Jeez, Rita.
Backs.
Oh.
I mean, it's not Rita. It's
Like his
Leica.
character.
Oh, sorry. I thought I heard Pow.
No, Asai. And he sort of slowly shifts his way back and looks over at you, Pow, and goes, "Hi,"
Hi.
and shifts back towards the couch. Marco looks a little bit more cheerful. Sonata and Thurman both get up to say hello to you, and as does Bo, who draws himself up to his sort of clopping full height and steps over the lounge in order to get up to you, going, "Hello! It's great to see you all back. I'm guessing you didn't all die."
No. How's everyone doing? We found out where that shark came from. It was a wizard.
He's dead now.
Yeah, we killed him. He was experimenting with fleshcraft thing. We may have also unleashed a bunch of lizard monkeys onto Kesh.
But that's
I
not
wouldn't
our
worry
problem.
about it.
That's not going to be my problem anymore. Okay. Nice. I'm okay. Yeah.
Yeah?
Great. Great to have you all back.
How you been doing this past bit?
Oh, I've been mostly just chilling out in the palace, talking to Blue Eyes.
Ooh.
Mostly because I can't go anywhere else.
Mm.
You know, that thing where I'm sort of under arrest while I wait to be
Yes.
banished?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But enough about that. Yeah, come in, sit down. We can, you can have some food. And who is this big guy?
It's Pradesh.
Oh, yes, I am Pradesh.
And that's Asai. I point that Asai.
Oh my God, how many people did you pick up?
2?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Asai's from Sarugu, but then she showed up out of a door randomly. It's a whole thing. Yeah.
Okay. Great. You can just do that and come outdoors. Okay. I am going to sit back down.
All right.
You guys come in. Yeah, we can catch up. I guess. Again, I'm kind of caught up. I know what happened. And at this point, Bo's eyes are like, "Oh, hi, Leica. Welcome back." Bo's eyes sort of settle on Batbar, and yeah, we can catch up.
We can tell you about the wizard. You don't know that.
Yes, I want to know all about this wizard. Come on.
Yeah.
Tell me about the wizard. let me know. Give me
Well-
gossip.
He created chameleon monkeys that tried to rob Sada.
Yes. I grabbed one by the neck, but then they all attacked me. But then Asai made them all scared and they ran out windows.
And then Bo punched the wizard's head off.
No, Pow did.
How punched the wizard? Sorry, no.
Yeah,
That was-
I'd be impressed if Bo did it while he was here.
That was Sam being dumb. I'm
We
sorry.
also uncovered there's a secret flesh warping society.
That's upsetting.
Yeah.
And I think some of the bat sharks got away.
Yeah.
Or all of them. We didn't kill any of the bat sharks.
Yeah. They can't breed apparently, but I think the chameleon monkeys can, so
Yes, the chameleon monkeys are an ecological nightmare waiting to happen.
yeah.
Okay, so you set a whole bunch of fresh monsters loose upon the world.
Yeah.
That's great.
It was an accident.
That's great.
I'm
Yeah,
you know,
you had too
no,
many
this is
monkeys.
great. You're making me feel better that I'm leaving. Now I don't have to worry about any horrible flesh beasts. That can be your problem, Bat Bear.
Yes.
Yeah, it will be.
Well, I wouldn't consider them flesh beasts. They were very well crafted. They were just unnatural. Like,
You know, as natural as monkeys that are like part lizard can get.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
They were cute in a weird chameleon monkey kind of way.
You know, I gotta say, you're not selling me on the whole chameleon monkey because you're describing them as a chameleon monkey.
Yes.
And I'll be honest, that sounds really gross.
They were.
They were monkey shaped. They just had scales and could go invisible.
Okay, so it wasn't like a
and they had,
chameleon monkey centaur thing where
No,
the
no.
monkey body.
No, they were
No.
monkeys, but they had scales, they had chameleon tails and eyes and tongues.
Oh, they had the eyes.
Yeah.
Um, ah, ah. I don't. Nope, not a fan.
As your deal breaker. Understood.
But you killed the Khan,
Yeah.
and Batfire's got his clan back, and I well, I think we actually may have touched upon this before, but I have to go
Yes.
from here where my
I was gonna
entire
say.
life has been.
Yeah.
I was wondering if
Yeah.
you all, I understand you have a land.
Yes,
That
I was
you,
actually gonna ask you that if you wanted to come back with us. Shin could use good barkeepers and information gatherers, so I'm sure you'd be able to fit in there if you're interested.
Who's Shin?
He's our spy master.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And if that don't work out, you can join my legendary Outer Haven dogs.
He also likes to hang out in a bar a lot and lounge around.
Also, yeah, that too.
Sounds like my kind of spy master.
Damn
Okay.
it. I was gonna recruit him.
I'm not really the mercenary type, Akio. I'm not really a fighter. You know, I say things about like, oh, I'll rip your arms off, but I've never actually ripped anyone's arms off. You know, you dislocate one guy's arm one time, and suddenly, oh, that centaur bartender will kill you by ripping your arms off.
Fair enough.
But you know, it kept people under control, so I leaned into it.
Yeah.
I think I might actually be able to, but I haven't.
You should try it on Akio.
I
No,
mean,
I've
I-
already no, no. I'm pretty sure I still have a literal robot leg.
Yeah.
What?
you want robot arms?
No.
I don't know.
Oh right, hey.
One time he drank a weird potion once that he didn't really think about it, and it just popped his leg right off. And another friend of ours drank another potion without thinking about it. It popped a demon out, and the demon stole his leg. Yeah.
So Akio was
These happened concurrently, by the way.
within seconds.
Yes.
So then I was in a wheelchair, a very expensive wheelchair that was all-in-one utility, a combat wheelchair, if you will, and a very expensive one that was on loan that I need to get back, by the way. And I traded it for a robot leg. So I'm the first bionic man. $1 million. I make weird noises whenever I run. I don't know.
I mean, you're not the first person with a clockwork prosthetic, but
What's getting me is that there was a potion specifically created to just pop your leg.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
they took some random potions.
This all happened in our sky skip, by the way. So we were in the air.
So,
We're on
so
a
we
road
were
trip.
Yeah.
we were doing drugs at the Mile High Club.
Yeah. There was also a potion that summoned a random evil outsider.
Yes.
What is he even doing with my leg, I wonder?
Yeah, he took the leg.
I told you, it's like a lamp from Christmas Story.
Yeah.
Oh my god. One time Pete exploded. The fountain. Restus was like just minding his own business, and you guys just decide to randomly drink from the fountain, and one of us blew up.
Yeah.
We got better.
There was something like you may learn about me is that occasionally, and by occasionally I mean fairly often, I introduce easy access to a random effect table.
Is it
Because
the D10,000 table?
Yes, because I enjoy inflicting things on my players.
Amazing.
And yeah, one of them once drank some raw magical liquid, and it caused them to explode, which is very funny to me
Yes.
personally.
You think we would have learned?
Why would you
Well,
learn? What is there to learn? It's fun.
Yeah, there are
Oh.
entire classes built on rolling on that table.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I have some random potions here now. Would you like to drink them?
No.
Yes.
Are you sure? They are random. That was a question to both of you, really.
Wait, what?
I
I'm
mean,
sure I don't
if
wanna
you
drink
actually have it, let's do it.
I was half joking.
Okay.
Half because I don't have potions, I have one.
Oh. Hand it over.
Wait, really?
Yes!
I step away from
Okay.
the sigh.
Okay, I actually made my own list, but it's only a D100. So you can roll a
Okay.
D100.
Oh God! Please get the one that turns into two dogs. That was my favorite
Yes!
one we came up with.
You rolled a 66.
Yes.
Roll again twice.
Oh! D100?
Mm-hmm.
Oy.
Okay, 46 and 44. Suddenly, the air around you, Asai,
Mm-hmm.
through well, actually here's the thing. You're indoors. So just the tracks. Okay, unfortunately, I think neither of these effects will really affect you because you're indoors.
Oh?
The only way for them to, because the other thing is that there are no windows. So just to tell you, if you want to roll a d6 to get the duration,
Mm-hmm.
for the next 2 minutes, you will attract butterflies
Oh.
Nice.
and also unfriendly wasps. The only way for either of these insects to reach you is through the fireplace.
Ah.
So you begin hearing as just a horde of wasps fly down into the flue of the fireplace and just immediately get immolated in the fire. The butterflies are saved by the fact that they're physically unable to fly down into it because of the rising air of the heat. But you basically cause a massive wasp murder, and it goes on for a couple of minutes before just like, well, there aren't too many wasp corpses because they just incinerate. But yeah, just a whole bunch of wasps just suicided into the fire in the fireplace.
Oh.
Well, I have to say that was pretty random.
Yeah.
Yep.
How about that? And yeah, you're able to relate your plans. But yes, getting back to we did get kind of distracted there. But yeah, Sada, if I would like to come with you to Surugu.
All right.
I think that'll be the best place for me. And it's also a place that Batfire could come visit, right? When you're not too busy being the, Khan of Oruite, conquering all of Kesh. Batfire nods. Um, Actually, would you guys mind excusing us? We didn't really have a chance to. Yeah, I was thinking about that too. We didn't.
Sure.
When we got here, we both kind of immediately got swept into our thing, and we didn't get a time to talk before I ended up getting him banished. So, yeah,
Mm.
you did. Um, and with that, Bo and Vampire do sort of make their way off to the other side of the room, leaving the rest of you in the center on comfortable chairs. Of course, they are upholstered in blue.
Nice.
And
Best color.
Thurmond observes the rest of you. That was really eating Vampire up.
Yeah.
Hope if you guys can just make sure that Bo is like comfortable,
Yeah.
because yeah, the fact that Batfire's probably going to invite Bo to stay with him, but that's not going to work. From what I know, Bo is more of a city person. Man, I guess this is goodbye to you guys too. For me.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's been good, Thurman.
it has.
Yeah.
Say so long to Kasumi for me too.
Mm.
I'll miss you all.
Miss you too, Thurman. They'll be sticking with Batbear, right? You're in
Yep.
Kesh? Yeah.
Someone needs to keep him alive.
I'm kidding.
But yeah, gotta make sure that Batbayar is Batbayar, but he can be really can be kind of stone-headed sometimes, and I'm worried about, you know, him getting snuck up on things that he might not think about, like assassins and stuff.
Yeah.
So he needs somebody to watch his back that he knows. And yeah, might as well be me. And of course, I'll see you again when we all meet up to murder the Shogun or whatever.
Yeah.
When do you think this is gonna be?
I don't know.
Oh,
We'll have to see how it is once we get back to Sarugu.
yeah. Hopefully, like there hasn't been a rebellion against you in the meantime.
I hope not.
That'd be funny in a really horrible way.
Yeah. Yeah, we still have
Yeah.
to deal with the Burning Wrath and
Yeah, I'm hoping for no
the bells that toll.
flaming crater.
Right. Yeah, hopefully not like the entire island isn't burnt down or something. I think we'd hear about that from here, although maybe not. The city's kind of locked down. Although nobody can leave, so we can get news in, but we can't get news out. Mhm. What do you think your next
So,
step is
why
going to
is
be,
the
though?
city locked down again?
Because we accidentally damaged the tower a little bit.
That was you.
Yeah.
Okay. A Sky Cipher hit a tower, and they're like, "We don't know who did it. We need to find out who did it."
Yeah.
And to be honest, I kind of get why they would do that. It's like, oh, literally, someone tried to ram the Sky Cipher, a very valuable object, into our town.
Well, they don't know it was a sky skiff, but
Sky Give. I keep calling it Cipher. Okay.
a skiff. Skiff. It's a small ship.
Like a boat.
And yeah, so yeah, we hit the tower and a chunk of it kind of came off, and apparently they took that personally.
Imagine.
It's at this point that the doors open again, and stepping through is the 7-foot tall form of Blue Eyes, the lively, muscular elf with his gossamer cape that affixes to his fingers. Opens his arms wide as he enters, looking around you. Friends, it's good to see you all again.
Hmm.
I'm told you have news for me.
The Khan is dead.
Good. Very good.
We also
Bad
collected
Fire.
as much of the dragon scale gear and weapons he had, just in case. Well, so yeah, you can give her a proper burial if that's your wish.
He looks at you sidelong before his face kind of shifting in a way you don't immediately recognize the emotion that is passing over it. I was going to get to that, but thank you for bringing that up.
Sorry.
My appreciation, of course, is great for your recovery of my paramours. Effects. And his eyes alight on Asai and Pradesh.
Oh.
By which I mean, of course, that the Dragonbone items used to belong to my paramour. Not that they were part of them. of course.
Mhm. Can I sense motive?
Of course.
Okay. Abilities. Skills. My cat is having a conniption fit.
Conniption fit.
Your sense motive is as astronomical. Wow. You're rolling sense motives that are like Cesari's bluff.
Nice.
Um,
I don't like to be lied to.
no kidding. Yeah, you get the sense that this Blue Eyes guy ain't telling the truth about that. It's a bit of a weird thing to lie about. But yeah, he's not being truthful.
Okay. Carry on. Sorry.
I see a pair of new faces. Greetings, I am Blue Eyes. And you note that this elf's golden skin has golden eyes. Not blue. That he casts at you all, and they all very intense. They're not gold like Sada's are, which are just rather gold. His seem to burn. There's a deep orange within them that almost seem to be alight with its own inner energy. It's my pleasure to invite you all to dinner, if you would care for it. And to ask you how long you would like to stay as my palace in payment for your great service is open to you for as long as you should desire. With the exception of you, Batfire, as I understand you are still somewhat indebted to myself due to I intend to amend that. Oh? Well, if you do, it'd be best be in a way that's worth interrupting me for. At which point, Batfire seems to shrink into himself slightly. Anyway. The dining room is this way. If you would follow me. He leads you all into another chamber on the same off the same hall that is set with a long table with any manner of food and drink from. You note that it's seems to be filled with food and drink from various cultures um, and cuisines. I wasn't sure what you would like, so I asked my cooks to provide a bit of a spread with regard to foods. You should find things from a little bit of everywhere. I've in my own travels, I've experienced quite a few, so I should hope that all of it you'll find to be quite tasty. May I have the bones and scales you spoke of?
Yeah.
The effects of my paramour, as I should say.
Sada nods and gives him the portable hole.
Oh my god, I hate that sentence. Alright.
It's a well-known magical object.
I know, but I gave him the portable hole is whatever.
Portable hole filled with the bones of his dead wife.
Mm-hmm.
And he opens it and looks inside, and he nods. Thank you. You'll forgive me if I do not dine with you. I am
Understandable.
I don't typically eat. You see, and he holds up one of his hands. Ring of sustenance.
Yes.
I find that it's often a better use of my time to be doing other things. And in this case, I am afraid I am still quite occupied.
I wanted to
However,
ask you one thing. Oh, yes.
oh no, please.
Do you know about the current status of the lockdown? If that's gonna end soon, anytime?
Blue Eyes rolls his eyes. For the first time, he uh, cracks a little from just being totally cool as a cucumber to actually showing some sign of frustration. The king of Ormai has apparently taken your accident as a personal insult and refuses to allow the gates to be opened
Mm.
for any reason, including his own people starving. It's
Yeah.
growing frustrating. Even
Yeah,
for
we saw
me,
that in
this is becoming a impediment to certain movements I need to keep going, and for my own interests, and well, simply from a standpoint of a citizen, it seems to be needlessly wasteful when it comes to the welfare of his citizens.
Hmm.
And quite frankly, anyone who needs to respond to a group of unarmed subjects with violence when all they ask for is food, it seems an ill ruler to me.
Yeah.
But he is the king, and so we live with his edicts, such as they are. And he looks down at the portable hole again. I will return your hole
Thank you.
shortly. Enjoy.
Mm.
And with that, he turns and leaves the room. Leaving you with a great amount of food, but just yourselves. And some servants. And after they have provided drink, do tell you that should you need anything else, please ring one of the bells on the table. And exit the room as well, closing the doors behind you, just leaving yourselves alone. Marco immediately grabs a large steak. That's too big for you. Watch me.
I also grab a large steak.
Mm.
Sada gets a large steak and some mashed potatoes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Evidently, it's all very continental fare or
Yes.
American fare. I
It's like the
have
good old US of A.
I have in my travels found much of this cuisine known as barbecue. I have provided it.
Ooh. Well then, skip the steak. I would like brisket.
Okay. Then you have brisket. Um. Uh. But yes. Pascal sort of looks around as everybody's sort of grabbing their stuff, and did anyone else seem a little bit off-put by the fact that Blue Eyes is just sort of throwing up his hands at the current situation?
Yeah, it does seem a little
Nah.
weird. I wonder
I
if he has
mean,
some kind of weird deal with the king. Well, the king has something on him.
I don't
I
see
mean,
how that could
yeah,
even
what could
be.
you have on him?
I shrug.
I mean, yeah, the guy's got secrets. I think we're privy to a really big one. But like, it's the kind of secret that, like, if you tried to blackmail Blue Eyes, I'm pretty sure that'd just be a way to get killed. It just seems odd.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't the easiest solution, not necessarily the most palatable, but the easiest would be that the perpetrators have just returned?
Oh no, you think he's gonna turn us in?
I think you're dealing with a crime lord.
Nah,
Oh, man.
he only, he only goes as far as his word, and once he starts betraying his word, and
It'd be a bummer after we did all, that
it's
hand gesture.
fine. We're fine.
I have known Blue Eyes for a very long time.
Huh?
And while he has betrayed people, it's not people like you.
I'm gonna detect poison on the food.
Okay.
Yeah.
You do not detect the food as poisonous.
Alright, keep eating it.
I continue to eat as if I had never stopped because I didn't.
Oh wait,
Akio,
I detect magic on the food.
I eat anyways.
Akio stops
The
and
food is
realizes
not
he probably.
magical.
Alright.
Oh, okay. Akio stops and realizes he should have probably waited as he sees you do that. Is it good?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, no, Blue Eyes, if you do something right by him, he's not going to sell you out. That's not how he works. He really only, I mean, he fucks people, but like
Oh.
typically if they
Like,
fucked around with him,
Yeah.
I'll grow up.
I mean,
no.
I'm sure he fucks too.
I mean, yeah, he does do that, but
Yeah.
you were just talking about his paramour, right?
Yeah.
I wanna.
And honestly, who can blame anyone? Look at him.
Do you have a crush on him?
You don't?
I never said that.
Counterpoint, but yeah, but also no, for me he's like he's more like an uncle. I've known him for a really long time and he's helped me a lot, up until relatively recently. I left the Oroite clan after Batbayar fled because, well, I was friends with him, and uh, that made me a liability to his uncle. So I was only a kid, but I was made to understand that, and so I took it as a good time to leave. And when I got here to Ogashi, I didn't really have anything to do, and I was still kind of small and young, so I just sort of ended up like doing weird odd jobs. But uh, I was good at chatting to people, and eventually I chatted up this weird buff elf guy, and he took me under his wing.
It's a beautiful relationship.
Blue Eyes means a lot to me. The thought that I'm not going to be here anymore.
Yeah.
Well, anyway. Uh, And with that, he just sort of like takes a very large piece of brisket and just shoves it in his mouth.
I'm sorry, things became complicated.
Yeah. This is really good. Right?
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, he's the stuff happening in town probably isn't affecting him because he got a stronghold of his own. He's got his own wealth and stuff. Like,
Yeah, I mean, obviously he
Yeah.
isn't starving.
Yeah.
yeah.
But that doesn't mean he doesn't care.
Yeah.
He actually
Do you think he
kind of
usually would? Do you think this is out of character for him then?
no. Actually, he's um weird that way. He has a really expansive view about like everything. So like individuals typically don't really matter very much to him except in like very specific circumstances. Like important people, like I like to think me, uh matter to him, but otherwise it's one person, one face sort of fades into another, as he explained it to me. But like the concept of a people or like a people at large, that matters to him. And actually, he does have some weird empathy for that and suffering. And he doesn't like it when people that he feels partially responsible for are suffering. And he does feel responsible for the people here in Ogashi, even if he's not their leader, because he does have so much power of his own here. But also, as alluded to, he's not exactly selling his hoard of goods to produce food for the people here. But then again, even it's not like he could right now because there's no food to buy. I don't know where he got all this. Maybe it's an illusion.
Well,
If it's an illusion, I can eat as much as I want.
it doesn't seem to be magical, if that's what you mean.
I'm sorry, I'm not listening.
Okay.
I'm just. Would a feast spell make the food be magic, or would that be just normal food? I'm not sure.
Mundane food created
Yeah.
magically.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I never really asked Greta about that.
The food, a hero's feast spell is magical. Actually, a bountiful banquet is also magical food.
Okay.
Mm.
Both of those have magical effects. However, and actually the create food and drink food is also magical because it just simulates. Well, actually, it might not be. That might actually not be. The gruel created by create food and drink might just be mundane, very nutritious gruel.
It doesn't
I'd have to
go
look.
away.
I don't think it goes away. So you just sort of eat it. But like the bountiful banquets food, that will disappear. Anything that isn't eaten will eventually disappear and feeds you for an entire 24-hour period from the one meal. And Hero's Feast obviously has its own magical benefits as well. So yes, that's my opinion on those.
All right.
Nope, this is
There it is.
illusionary food. When it ends up on my thighs, it will be illusion as well. Heard it here first.
Wow. Wow.
Words to live by.
Anyway, so yeah, your meals continue. The food is not illusory. It is very good, however, and you're able to consume as much as you desire. Before being told that you have essentially the run of the suite you were in before on the interior hallways, which you can view the various art pieces that Blue Eyes has acquired. Blue Eyes has acquired at your heart's content. There are apparently 8 bedrooms off of the living suite that you were in before, so you can divvy those out as you will. And yeah, otherwise, Blue Eyes expects that he will see you again for breakfast in the morning, at which point you can decide if you wish to stay for longer or if you wish to leave. He understands that you have things to do, but
Yes.
again, you are invited to stay as long as you desire. And also, he notes that as long as the interdict is on, you can't leave anyway.
Well, I mean, we do have a sky skiff, and I have a cursed over invisibility.
True.
Yes.
How do you intend to fit everyone onto the sky skiff?
Hmm. We'll
How did you get out last time?
we use a
Without the
secret.
sky skiff.
Yeah, we use a secret tunnel.
But now we have too many ding dang people.
Yeah. We'll
Too
just have
many
Two,
to.
which
people
are
to fit in a
centaurs.
tunnel?
Yeah. We'll just have to tie some off the edge and drag them along.
Or we can maybe the Tazo boat. I don't know.
It can't get out either, though. That's the thing.
No, but I'm just
Maybe
trying to think of how to get all of the bodies we have
What if we
collectively
go?
now.
What if we go to the king
The
and tell
Tasso
him we
boat
did
would
it?
make it easier.
Let's just
What
go do a
would happen?
beheading. A gentle beheading.
I mean, I
That
can't
would
tell you.
solve several problems.
Man, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it though? Oh no, it's because Kasumi's not here. I've become the Kasumi. I'm becoming Kasumi, help me!
Oh no, you
Help
need to be
me!
back in the party stat.
You need the Kasumi to not become the Kasumi.
I need to babysit the Kasumi. I can't become the Kasumi.
Look,
Shit.
Kasumi is incredibly responsible in a lot of ways.
She's come a long way. I will say
But
that.
in
Next time
others,
Kasumi just
Oof.
goes, well, why don't we just kill him? And Pal goes, yeah. And Kasumi just looks at her like, wow.
Kasumi's like, cool.
High five. Both walk out into the ocean.
Gentle murder.
Or, a haunting to teach a lesson. Sometimes it takes a ghost to appear and sort of show you all your moral shortcomings to really make you rethink your life.
What would happen if we just told the king the truth?
Which truth? Oh, that we broke his house or whatever?
Yeah, his tower.
Busted his clock tower?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. What if he wants to behead us then?
Well, then we'll behead him first.
Oh, yeah, okay. That might,
I-
that could cause like a political incident, but
Yeah, you're kind of like saying that you're just going to casually overthrow a government.
yeah, we've already
Yeah.
done that, and nobody knows that. Like, we're not here officially, right? We came here under false pretenses. No one officially knows that we are here. So if just a gang of ruffians happens to kill a king, can't trace it.
Question to consider: who takes over if the king dies, and is that person worse?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
my question.
Probably.
Also, and like, how do you do that? Like, you just said you've done that. Did you do it by yourself?
Yeah.
Without any, like, backup
Hey,
Ooh.
I know what
or
we do. What
plan?
what if we just destroy the entire tower? You know, let's go all the way.
Oh,
That seems worse.
I got it. I know what's going on here. I know this is why this is weird. Blue Eyes isn't doing anything because he wants, the king to be overthrown, and then he can take the throne for himself and become the king. Yeah.
I get the sense that
I
Blue
think
Eyes is
he
the sort
already
of
is the
person
king.
that likes to have power from the shadows.
Yeah, but he can have power from a cool castle. He already has a cool castle, but he can have two
Yeah, he already
castles.
does. Pow, Blue
Yeah.
Eyes, I think can actually overthrow a government
I know, but it's not a good look, right? So
casually.
why not have somebody else overthrow it, and then there's a power vacuum, and you just happen to be the best person to fill that role? Whoops, it's me, Blue Eye. This is highly unlikely, and I am stuffed full of brisket. So I'm probably just saying nonsense at this point. I don't know. I would love to haunt this guy.
You gonna haunt him?
Yeah, like
You
we
a
did with the
ghost?
boat. Yes, I can be. Clearly, I've proven that I can be.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. Fool the
Well,
cleric. Mm.
okay. Well,
Eat some more brisket.
you might be full of brisket, but I have a whole second
Piece of
stomach,
pie.
so I'm going to go with this
Oh my
pulled pork, and we can discuss this maybe more in the morning. As you prepare to retire for the night, would anyone like to do anything before retiring? The great halls of the palace are open to you, and there frankly are not many guards. In fact, there's no guards.
Nah.
There's really no one watching you either. So
Hmm. I'll take a look around.
I'm gonna
Check the yard.
sleep.
Maybe I'll stumble into something.
okay, Sada, you begin to stroll through the halls. You exit the dining room, leaving to the sound of Pascal saying, "I told you that was too much for you." No. Um, and yeah, you begin walking through the cavernous hallways of Blue Eyes' palace. Would anyone else like to join Sada, or are everyone just continuing to eat and then retire to the bedroom to sleep off this brisket?
I'm gonna sleep out the brisket.
I guess I'll sleep off the brisket. I can't really think of anything. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun to snoop, though. Like, I wonder what Blue Eyes is up
Yeah,
to.
but
It's keeping him
yeah,
so
but
busy. Eh?
you guys can do that
Oh,
because I'm not sneaky.
that's true.
As you can see, I am wearing a literal golden suit of armor that Sada for some reason thought was made of pure gold up until recently.
He's so heavy, and it's just
And so
Look,
squishy.
I just
So
thought
tough.
Accio was that inefficient.
I'm still a warrior.
Can't
Like,
believe.
did you think? Did you
I
think
was
that was
just to say,
stupid?
I cannot
Yes.
believe that Pow is now the one who's like, yeah, let's snoop.
All right. So
I don't know,
Akio
man.
and Locale are not. Pao and Asai, are you going to also return?
Oh, I'll
to-
wander and maybe snoop.
Okay.
Gentle snoop.
I've been lied to today.
Mm. All right. So
That bothers me.
Asai, you go with Sada and Pao. Would you like to join them or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
See what's up.
All right. The three of you begin making your way through the palace, and if you're taking a fairly languid pace, it's a fairly slow. You can walk around here for quite some time. The palace is huge. As I said, it is football stadium sized. And the walls are so encrusted with a wealth of various art pieces that you could, like, for every yard that you walk is like another room in a museum to just look at. And of course, you would need to use magical assistance in order to look at all the various pieces adequately. You can really only look at those that are relatively close to the floor, and it goes up to the ceiling. You note that due to the placement of various wall sconces, none of which are flaming, you note, all of which have a sort of globe of arcane light that gives a perfect sort of warmish, barely off-white light that creates sort of the perfect viewing light for the various artwork pieces. They're spaced in such a way that every piece on the wall has a perfect light set upon it. Avoiding too much shadow play on the statues and allowing that each painting and print is evenly illuminated without shadow. And yeah, it's just some of this stuff is just extremely ornate, masterful stuff, and also just occasionally you also see just something that looks genuinely amateurish, and yet it's in a frame as ornate as any of the others.
Hmm.
And as you're walking along, if any of you would like to roll perception.
The amateurish art have a signature?
Well, Asai, you note that each of the frames do actually have written on the base of the frame a name and a date stamped into it, as actually part of the frame. So it's carved in, really. And looking at it, you note after looking at a few of these that, okay, so this is by this person, this is also by this person. Oh, you find that for a number of these, you're looking at the works that are masterful, like awesome, like pseudo-realistic pieces, landscapes and portraits, and then you'll see one of the amateurish ones, and you'll see the same name just like 30 years earlier than the other pieces.
Neat.
As you start realizing that, oh no, these are from like a lifespan of some master, not just their actual masterworks. And similarly, you can actually see like they're in a couple of places they've been purposely arranged that way, so you can just sort of walk across and see someone's skill as it just skyrockets to their mastery of art before, and then you see other things where they begin experimenting with style and light and begin developing their own manner and signature ways of producing such artworks. And you also could find in a couple of places that they're not just artworks. You find a little like sconce shelf with a few books on it, and you have that ring that allows you to read other languages. So you note that there's this. The one that you see is written in North Common, and it's this Ardanian author from like 400 years ago, and it's just their works and written on the sconce beneath each of them is just a couple of dates, a few years to a few years here, and it in order, you're led to guess that it's the dates in which these books were written. And so you start seeing that this palace is a museum, and it's not so much the museum, the artwork, because of course the artwork is magnificent, but it's almost a museum of the people, the creators themselves. And as you walk through this central, like donut-shaped hall around the tower portion, you note that there's a door open.
Huh.
It's a jar, not entirely. It's only a jar about a foot.
Can we hear anything
Mm-hmm.
from the door?
I step closer.
You would need to roll perception.
I'm looking at paintings. I didn't even notice the door. Very interesting.
Sada, you hear movement from beyond the door. And your stealth roll is quite good. And you make your way up to the door and peer around it. And within it, you see a chamber. It's compared to everything else in this room, in this hall, it's kind of stark. Well, actually, no, I'm lying. This chamber is not stark. It is additionally, well, decorated. It's just in a manner different from the rest of the palace. For one thing, it's not so deeply blue. The walls are actually a fairly muted gray color. Floors as well. And upon the walls aren't artwork and such. It's all weapons and armor of various sorts. If you would make for me a perception check again, please. Actually, no, you rolled a 27.
Oh.
All right, well, you did roll again. It's fine. Well, a 21 works also. It occurs to you that the way that these armors are arranged, all of them, and the weapons as well, all of them, especially the armors, exhibit some sort of damage. And many of these helmets there are many helmets without armor that are not just on a helmet stand, but actually on the wall and mounted in such a way that it gives you it looks to you like the way some Viennese nobles would like mount the heads of stags or other hunted animals on plaques in trophy rooms. In the center of it is a massive slab of unadorned granite. About 10 feet long, if not longer, and about half as wide. A big rectangular prism, and about 4 feet tall. And on it is the skull of that dragon. The as well as the various pieces of armor and the weapons set next to it upon the slab. And Blue Eyes is stood next to it. And his hand is just sort of sliding gently along the crest of where the dragon's snout would be. Just along the side of the stone-like skull. You can enter if you wish. I am beyond the point where I would desire to be alone
I
at this
enter.
point. As may Miss Asai and Miss Paulina.
I enter.
How do you?
I mean, yeah. I'm snapped out of my reverie of the paintings. I didn't even realize.
Sorry, I saw an open door and my curiosity got the better of me. I don't mean
You
to
know what they say
enter.
about cats. Fortunately, you're a
Yes.
human.
Yes.
Although, sometimes I notice that there's terribly little difference on occasion between what we claim to be intelligent mammals and those that are not. They can make such foolish decisions. Killing something that has been extant on Logos for centuries, knows so much, have done so much, for no reason. I apologize for lying to you earlier, Lady Asai, and my compliments on your capacity for seeing through it. Normally, most aren't able to read me. It's impressive.
Thank you.
Although I would note that I was able to read that you read me, so perhaps something to work for you to work on as well. I am a dragon. This is my paramour, my mate. There was such a time when I would tear apart across Kesh as a hurricane, and I would rend their pitiful hordes, and slam down upon them as a calamity that they would speak about in whispered tales for centuries. as they tried to pick up the ashes of their broken civilization. I should have. Thankfully, you were accomplished enough that you precluded my need to. Look what they did to her.
Yeah, it's not
The
her
workmanship
fault.
isn't even that good. Oh, she would be disgusted that she would be used in such a way. At least if you're going to use a living creature to form your weapons and armor, get a master to do it. Which is a note. If you or anyone you know ever try to use my bones to create something, you best do it well, or I will haunt you.
All right.
There's a lot of threats of haunting recently.
Good
Are
threat,
there?
turns out.
What threats of haunting have you heard?
Pal
Beyond.
wants to threaten the king by haunting him.
Oh, come on now. Come on. Why would you just sell me out like this?
He's
Like
not
the
doing that thing
Fazo
again
ship.
where he forgets that he shouldn't provide details of his party
Just
to complete
loves
strangers.
it. Loves telling complete
It's a
strangers
stupid
all our
plan.
innermost secret.
It's a stupid plan.
Yeah, but it's still intention, so you shouldn't share that. Like,
I
you know, like
Horrible gossip. Just such a gossip.
if I what if Pao sarcastically said she wanted to kill the king? Would you share that?
She did.
No, she said she wants to haunt him.
She also said that she wanted to behead him.
Said both.
Yeah.
Which Tombstone has not told
Not
Bloom.
yet.
Yeah.
Not
Oh,
yet.
wait,
No. Fight the urge.
We've got time.
I'm afraid the king would more likely call upon some manner of priest to exorcise you before acceding. At which point they might even learn that you're not in fact a ghost. And then you might become one.
Hmm.
Don't underestimate kings. Individually, they're really quite pathetic, but as leaders, well, anyone who can call upon the might of a country, even a relatively weak one like Ormai, is someone to be respected as potentially dangerous, especially to fragile little things like you. Do you like my trophy room? It's lifetime
Yes.
of
It's impressive.
triumphs. Yes. They were more impressive alive. Some of them.
Hmm.
What is it about my race that attracts so many to slay us? Particularly foolish people. I mean, the answer is actually quite obvious, really. It's the whole genocidal war that we waged on you people for
Mm.
a decade or so before our eventual destruction. But still, that was for you so long ago. For me, it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I've lingered upon this world for 8,500 years, approximately. And still some fool knight with a lance that they got blessed by their village priest and a helmet made of pig iron thinks to ride to me on their little nag, attempt to strike me down. It's, for me, annoying. For younger members of my brood, it is actually deadly. Sadaryudo, since you have so rudely intruded upon my reverie, I would actually ask of you an additional boon.
What?
I am very old, as I mentioned.
Yes. Over 8,000 years.
8,500. Don't short me
Yes.
those.
Okay. I could swear you're not a day over 7,000.
Ah, greatly appreciated. The issue is other, beyond simply my age, is that I'm of a specific generation that commands respect among my kind. My mother was a dragon matriarch that was spawned gravid with young from the great pools of Vudovast, or Vathrushta, I should say. Vudovast is really simply a fell copy of the Xerxes of what the great dragon mother truly was. But anyway, enough talk of gods. One of those young that they were gravid with was me. My mother was the blue matriarch, and I am of her first generation. I'm the only dragon of the first generation left. Mostly.
Hmm.
There's a couple of others, but I, for one, don't think they count. So, and I'm the one making the decisions here, so that's what we'll go with. That leaves me in a position of not rulership, but certainly respect, especially since most blue dragons still alive today, due to circumstances that I won't get into, but in the dragon wars, are in fact descended from me.
Yeah.
My family is not overly large, but it is nearly exclusive at this point due to various interbreeding. My family. It would not be completely arrogant for me to say that the blue dragon brood is my brood at this point. Even more so than my mother's. And my mother's dead, so she can't
Yeah.
stop me from saying that. Oh, when she died, that was something. I rather hated her. She was brutish. And then she flew directly into a cloud of miasma and melted.
Jeez.
Anyway, she took a city down with her doing it,
Ah.
simply because she landed on it.
Ah.
The matriarchs
On
were...
purpose?
No, the city was used as a sacrifice. The Athene had filled it with miasma, a cloud that was a gas that was lighter than air and would react with anything biological and just bind with it and turn it into sludge. And she had taken our dragon brood to attack it. It was the capital city of the Athene, you see. So to destroy and tear out the heart of their empire, we would fall upon it and annihilate it with the wrath of the Desert Storm. And I, being a little smarter than my brothers and sisters, and surely more than my mother, kept my brood somewhat towards the back of our flight. This seemed really quite easy. The Fiend had airborne defenses. They could call upon the elves as well. They could fight us, and they didn't. It was only a pittance of a few rock-born warriors that were easily knocked out of the sky. So it was not entirely surprising when suddenly from the city, as we fell upon it, a great purple cloud emerged, and she flew right through it.
Ah,
And, well, died soon thereafter, writhing in agony as the clawing miasma did its work upon her flesh. She fell upon the city, and she herself was over a mile long, so it just made a mess of it. Also, all of my various cousins and such falling next to her. They died much faster, though, far smaller. Anyway, I'm belaboring the point with tales of things far before your time and hardly relevant to. My actual point was that I have family members that tend to look to me and for direction on occasion. And frankly, I could do without them sometimes. How to put this in ways that you would understand? At present, 3 of my great, 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 insert appropriate number of greats, grandchildren, are here in my palace, either making use of my various comforts and possibly plotting against me to try and seize my hoard, which is very amusing,
yes.
but tiresome after a time. What I would like you to do is to take them with you to Sarugu. As I said, I
Okay.
am of certain great respect among mankind. I can simply command them to follow
Okay.
you, and they will
Yeah,
do so.
I was gonna ask
Put them up
how
to.
we'd convince them to, but if we can just tell them to.
Oh, yes. I mean, they may try to eat you, and then they wouldn't have to follow you anymore. So I'll have to include some
Hmm.
riders regarding that. But frankly, I just want them out of my proverbial hair.
Okay.
If you can think of something for them to do. Actually, I think I have some ideas. But yes, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Thank you. As compensation, I will give you 3 blue dragons to do your bidding.
Cool.
Hopefully
But
that'll
as
be.
compensation for this, and he places his hand once more on the skull of his lover, I will give you something that is far more valuable. He turns towards you and looks and walks over to you, looming above even your tall height,
Yeah.
his glowing eyes burning down upon you. I am Nanoxus, the hurricane. And you call upon my true name, I will hear it. And you will gain from me a boon of your desire. Use it carefully.
Right.
Now, it grows late.
How do you spell
You
that,
should
Cells?
N-A-N-O-X-U-S.
XUS. Okay, I'm just putting it in under my inventory as Boon of Nonoxus.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, what
No.
was he saying?
The hour grows late.
Mm.
You should return to your chambers. Sleep. You've had a journey. And with that, he returns to pondering the skull of his former mate.
All right. Let's go to bed.
Yup.
Go
Shoo.
easy.
The next morning,
Eh,
you find yourselves soon in front of the same table for breakfast. Now, given all manner of breakfast foods for which to consume as you desire, and being informed that when you are ready, Blue Eyes will meet you in his throne room to discuss how you want to proceed.
Mm.
Bat Bayar arrives to the table a bit late. Upon seeing you guys already, I went to speak to Blue Eyes alone.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I wanted to apologize formally for being wrong about his outlook and to pay him back for the communication beads. So you can keep those.
Okay.
I've officially bought them.
Thanks.
And
How far over do they work?
a mile.
A mile. Okay. I was wondering if we keep one with you, but probably not.
Yeah, no, that won't work. You'll just have to write me a letter.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can keep those, and I gave him back the sword as well, which he appreciated, and he won't kill me. So yeah, overall we're square. So yeah,
Mm.
he's really intimidating
Yeah.
when he wants to be. He says as he sits down.
Yeah. We'll apparently be taking his 3 of his great ad nauseum grandsires with us back to Saruku. He asked us to do that last night.
yeah, when do we get to meet them?
Yeah. I don't know.
And convince them not to eat us.
Bo looks up from his pancakes, from which he was slathering on some whipped cream, and goes, "His what now?"
His great ad nauseum grandsires.
His grandsires would be his
Oh, sorry.
Grandchildren.
Grandchildren.
Oh.
You've met them?
Uh-huh.
And?
They're well, I don't like to be catty.
Please.
Go for it.
Oh my god, they are so self-obsessed.
Ah,
Like
yeah.
everything is just like, oh, how can I use this person? how can I use this? How can I use this person to overthrow Blue Eyes and get his stuff? And it's just like they're not good at manipulating people, but they try to do it all the time. And it's just like, oh my god. At least put effort into it. Like, we're not stupid just because we're he looks at Pradesh and Asai. Not members of Blue Eyes' family.
Asai winks at him.
He raises an eyebrow, but he doesn't commit to it. Pradesh at this point speaks up and, well, from my part, I think I will be saying goodbye to you all once you decide to go off and travel back to Surugu.
Hmm.
From my conversations with, as I have come to understand it, Don Fatazo here. You are I would be trying to compete against a source of adventuring items I don't think I could really adequately do. And what I can tell, once this interdict is lifted, working with Mr. Blue Eyes here could be quite interesting.
Yeah. Hey, feel free to stop by in for a visit whenever, if you're ever around, though.
Oh, of course. I have no doubt my travels will eventually bring me outside of Oromai. Don't worry. I typically do not stay in a single place for more than a year or two. So, once I am up and moving again, I am sure that Surugu will be on my list of locations to journey to. Don't you worry. Oh, and if you ever meet anyone from the Raj Paneta of Koresh, don't tell them you know me, because they'll try to assassinate me.
Okay, then.
Thank you. It's so wonderful to meet nice friends on the road. Who know other people with such good kitchens. After breakfast is finished, you are, unless there's anything else you would like to do at the breakfast table, you make your way to the central chamber, where you find Blue Eyes chatting with the lieutenant you recognize as Bendu, the one that had made life a little difficult for Bo. Blue Eyes is sat upon his throne, sort of reclining, and like perhaps in a certain image. Behind him is the exact image of him doing so. And which, by the way, that is such a good piece that Javier did. Like,
Yes.
anyway, I asked you here to ask what your plans would be. I understand that you'll probably seek to depart, though please know that you can stay here as long as you like. But I understand that you do have a city to rule, and quite a bit more than that, after all.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, I'm just figuring out what our best course of action is.
Well, feel free to make use of my palace for as long as you desire. I'm unfortunately somewhat of a terrible host. I may not be able to entertain you as well as I should, but otherwise the comforts of the place are yours to make ample use of as you need, for as long as you like. I, again, greatly thank you for your assistance and service. It was a it is a comfort to have the effects of my paramour returned to me. I would, before leaving you to decide what you would like to do, I would like to speak to Mr. Akio regarding that blade of his.
What? Okay. What? Sorry. What?
As when you found it, or when you presented it to me, I did recognize it. And as you were gone, and as time passed, I did give it some thought, and to be quite honest, that isn't something I should simply let you carry around without at least warning you as to its nature.
Oh. Yeah,
That it's what? That it's the
figured
sword.
it out too.
Oh, that it's a continent-destroying weapon of mass destruction.
Well,
And
it
that
itself
it's
is not, but it is the key to. Oh, but you know.
Yeah. Look, do the history.
It, yes, that appears to be the sword of wrath.
And that
also it's
it's bonded to Accio, so there's probably no way to get rid of it from him.
No.
Yeah.
also yeah, the influential demon that I've been having conversations with since I got the sword. I mean, if there's any particular advice that could be provided in terms of providing even more endurance and taming it, I'm down to listen to it.
My friend, there is no taming that blade. That sword is the anger of a grieving father and husband, and a king whose people had been butchered. Incarnated into a weapon. It is simply anger. It knows no other thing. It can only hate. I recommend that you simply ensure that you are never in a position of having your will weaker than its own. Because it will take advantage of you if it can. And its decision making can be calamitous.
I admit that if I'm being very honest, and mind you, I do apologize for talking of myself in your presence. I understand that could be conceived as rude. There might have been a time where
Akio,
it could.
as you're beginning to say this, I don't mean to interrupt you, but you are in fact interrupted by a voice growling in the back of your mind that the dragon lies. It always lies. It's a monster, cold-blooded and uncaring. Empathy is foreign to it. It cannot comprehend it except to manipulate others. And as it does so, you see a great storm, and through it, massive flying lizards, dragons, blue ones flying around a elven flying city that, with a great crash and explosion of lightning out one of its sides, lists terribly and begins falling into the ocean beneath it. You see great trenches dug by gouts of lightning breath, and you see a great horned blue lizard leering above a battalion of elven soldiers before annihilating them with its same breathed weapon. This thing's crimes are so manifold that you cannot begin to comprehend it, Akio. I can comprehend it, and I can end it.
Holy shit.
Slay the dragon.
Uh,
Don't do it.
uh,
Not a good idea.
I'm going to roll a will save.
Oh, well, yeah, no, you are if you're going to say no.
And if I do succeed, I'd like to play it out. Okay, let's see.
Well,
Okay,
All right. Big money. Come on.
okay.
Whammies, whammies, whammies. I want the drama.
The drama.
I would like
Akio,
to. Okay.
you fail to control the sword.
Oh,
You
oh.
feel within the depth of your breast rage building, an empathetic rage. You feel as this blade feels, this hatred, this anger and loss and bereavement at the destruction of life. And you know that this thing in front of you, this thing that has stolen your image, is responsible for thousands of them. It needs to be punished, and you will punish it. And you take the blade, and
Akio, what do
what
you?
happens next happens very quickly.
What happened?
He's getting that.
Akio's hand shakingly begins to reach for the blade, and Blue Eyes' eyes narrow before widening with a sudden realization. You see Akio move inhumanly quickly, faster than you've ever seen him move before, as the blade flies out from its scabbard, and he lunges forward. You've never seen Akio lunge at anything. His blade is a cutting weapon, except now it's reformed. As soon as he drew it, it straightened out from a curved blade to a long, double-edged sword. Its blade almost leaf-shaped, and coming to a deadly long point that points in unerringly towards Blue Eyes' neck. The dragon shifts quite smartly and is able, in fact, to dodge it. However, not entirely. The blade catches Blue Eyes' cheek as the elf in front of you suddenly moves in a very not humanoid way, almost like much more like his body undulates like a snake in order to escape from the incoming weapon, slicing a fairly mild cut across his cheek, a few errant golden hairs falling to the ground as Blue Eyes sort of stumbles over to the side. And Akio, you are now holding this weapon that is wholly alien to you, except you recognize the great ruby in its hilt that has split and moved upwards into the crossguard as well. and formed a multifaceted cut new one that looks very much like an eye. And as it stares back at you, you feel it begin to pulse in your hand
Oh no.
as you hear whispered in your mind, "Dragon blood.
Oh
I
shit.
taste it one more time." Gold flows over your gauntlet. A little hard to tell at first due to its own coloration, but it's a darker gold. It's the gold of the hilt of the blade, as silver as well begins to swarm over the surface of your body, and armor covering it and bulking you up slightly, making you taller, and just enclosing you in a metallic cocoon. Akio, very quickly, you don't have the voice in you anymore. The sword's no longer speaking through you. You're just your sword. You're no longer in control. The sword has been along for the ride up until recently,
Oh no.
and now your positions have been reversed.
fast?
Standing where Akio once stood, this happens within a few seconds. Is now a 7-foot tall elven warrior with flowing metallic red hair and eyes aglow with the same ruby light as the great ruby set in the blade, all three of which can stare out with a malign intelligence as it looks at Blue Eyes and begins to stalk forward and speaking with a metallic internal voice. "Your evil ends here, lizard."
Sada's
And
been
as
running full speed as fast as she can toward that.
right, Sada, you begin to set off towards whatever you're setting off towards, but as you do so, two things happen. The blade of wrath turns towards you and fixes you with one of his red eyes before speaking, "Do not interfere." And then someone else interferes because Blue Eyes has dodged into Bendu, and Bendu has snapped something around his wrist, which has caused Blue Eyes to recoil from Bendu afterwards. So Blue Eyes is just sort of staggering around as he looks down at the blade, or at the sort of iron thing around his wrist, and he goes to pull it off and finds he can't. And Spendu turns towards the animated sword and goes, "He can't transform. Kill him!"
What the fuck?
And
Damn.
with that,
Ah!
we'll leave off for the week because it's 9:40.
Jesus.
Until next week, where you guys get to deal with the Blade of Wrath Incarnate and a almighty blue dragon that is currently stuck as a admittedly very hot but super vulnerable elf.
Yeah.
How do we keep getting ourselves into this shit?
Jeez.
Nick,
How does
you're-
it happen? So,
You know,
you had to pick the sword. You had to pick the sword.
You could have had boots.
Had
Boots of
boots.
Wrath
One of
would
the
have done a
boots-
lot
I
less.
say,
What
I'm
if the
with the
boots were
Windy Murder
evil?
boots. No
Dragon
way.
hating boots.
No way.
Listen. Would you like to fight a sword, or would you like to fight somebody that jumps up and tries to ground stomp? I don't know.
Do you want to fight Super
Just-
Mario? What if
To
those
be
are
fair to
Mario's boots?
Akio, consider that the three choices were presented to him by Urab, who knows the future and probably could very easily predict what he would pick.
Mm.
Admittedly, and I'll be a little bit selfish, I kind of wanted this situation. I was like trying to think of for several weeks after like the first time we meet Blue Eyes, like sword. He's scared of the sword. I kind of want to see where this goes. We're here, so. Also, just a little,
Let it happen.
just, huh?
Just let it happen.
Yeah. Also, just kind of like a little detail, I guess, just because I kind of right before I guess Akio disappears, it just and now his heart starts pulsating. I guess he just says, "Oh no," and
Now Akio's a sword. Is he? I don't
well,
know.
I'm not really
Sword is
sure.
wielding Akio.
Does he have a golden sword?
Oh,
He has a golden Akio.
Oh,
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
Rather, here, we'll shift you over to Blue Eyes' throne room. So you guys can look at it for the time
Nice.
being. And
Aha, I see. Oh, okay. He just took the whole body. Okay.
yes, an angry elf. And yes, Hero Forge is useful. Also, you got to see Bo's token. So he's there too.
Yeah.
he's wearing
I'm gonna say Sada's here because she already started running. So.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can place yourselves where you wish to be. And yeah, next week we will see what
Yes.
happens, as we always do.